This episode of Two Guys Who Dive, recorded live Wednesday, 17 July, 2013. Episode 74, live from Grand Cayman. Well, welcome once again to another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive, and you'll see that I'm your host, Rob Wade, but I do not have Scuba Bob, a.k.a. Robert Garza, here with me. I'm joined by our producer and my lovely wife, Terra, and introduce yourself to our fine audience.
My name is Trisha Urban.
My name is Culbertson.
And we are having a great time on a little dive vacation here in Grand Cayman. We are shooting this from our spacious villa on the balcony overlooking the beach at Compass Point and Ocean Encounters, which is on the east end of Grand Cayman Island. Wish I could actually have set things up where you could see the ocean in the background, but unfortunately, because of the size of the balcony here, couldn't turn things around and backlighting and all this technical jargon that I'm not going to bore you with, but makes it a challenge. So we wanted to knock out a quick episode here so you could share a little bit in the excitement and fun that we've had. So, Gay, what are your impressions since this was your first ever saltwater dive?
Yes, and it is everything people say it is. You taught me how to dive. I've been in Lake Amistad and a couple of rivers, and that's nothing. This has spoiled me forever. The scenery, the beauty, the fish, the different forms of coral out there is just incredible.
Wow. Okay, so did you have any anxiety or anticipation? Do you have anything as you went for that first dive?
Well, the first time, yes, when you step off the boat, because you could see 100 or so feet down there, you could see. I knew there was a bottom down there, but I knew I had air in my BC, so I knew that I would float. It didn't. Nothing after that. I thought the night dive might bother me because it did at Amistad when we went down to where you couldn't see anymore.
Right.
It was too dark, but it didn't here. I've been having problems with it, and the night dive was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it was. It was definitely a great event. We have some footage that we'll probably show on a later podcast because it's pretty extensive of a lot of the things that we saw, but we had a good shot of a really small octopus, and we got to see it crawl along the coral reef and change colors as it went, but that was pretty awesome. Well, Trisha, this is not your first trip here.
No, I have been to the Cayman Islands several times, and this is my most favorite place in the whole Caribbean to come. The water is gorgeous. You're not fighting currents. It's fabulous. It's fabulous.
So I see you have.
Yes, I brought my little monkey with me. This is Spanky, and Spanky he goes camping and hiking, and now he's gone scuba diving.
He lost his arm to a shark.
Hold my little.
We were lucky. They got him.
Yeah, he lost an arm today, but he's going to survive. And we wanted to bring this cute little poster. It says, "I am not lost. I am in."
You have to hold it up so the camera can see.
I am in paradise. So let's see if
there we go. Yeah. Awesome.
So we have this hanging on our door so that people know that Texans are the best.
We know how to enjoy this.
That's right.
Now I have to say the trip has been. We've been looking forward to this trip for quite some time. We've talked about it on the podcast, and then of course we've all talked about it. Terra, what are your thoughts so far?
Oh, I'm loving it. It's great. The diving is wonderful. The resort is great because everything is there for you. I enjoy knowing that when we get out of bed, we roll out of bed, walk over to the dock, get on the boat, everything is set up. Everything's done. There's no heavy lugging.
Exactly.
Not that I would do that anyway.
That's right.
But
chivalry is not dead.
That being said, it's nice to know that all that is being taken care of. They rinse out all the gear. I just don't have any complaints about the resort and the Ocean Encounters, the dive company that we're with.
Ocean Frontiers.
Ocean Frontiers.
Ocean Frontiers.
You know, and that, I've got to say, hats off to the folks here at Compass Point and Ocean Frontiers.
Yes.
The valet diving is exactly the kind of trip you want, especially if you want everything taken care of. There are really no worries here. You don't have to, as Terra said, you don't have to lug anything out. It was great. You show up that first day, and you just put all your gear out. They have baskets outside your door with your tab, with a tab with your name on it and everything. And then you just put it all in there, and then they take it out to the boat, so you don't have to carry anything even from that first day.
I mean, we don't bring our wetsuits, we don't bring our skins back up, the booties.
Right.
They take them off the boat in our individual basket. They rinse them out, they hang them up. And the next morning, we get up, we brush our teeth, we have our cereal, we drink a little water, and we go down and jump on the boat.
Absolutely.
We stick our arms in our BC and we jump in the water. So it's this is valet diving, and this is the best.
It's really wonderful.
It is.
Really
It's
great.
fantastic. I just can't say enough good things about the folks here. The dive masters, boat captains are awesome. They really take care of you. They pay attention, but they know how to have a good time.
Yeah.
They'll kid around with you.
Yeah.
You know, they can trade a few
Oh,
little
yeah.
barbs here and there. They can take a joke and they
Yeah.
can dole them out, which is good.
Yes.
And something else that's nice is they have a great big board that they have on the boat, and they tell you the
Whiteboard.
a whiteboard, and they give you the dive profile. They say we're going to go down this deep, we're going to circle around this coral head, and they have it all drawn out, so you know exactly where you're going.
Right.
And you can go guided or non-guided. We have been following the
Yeah.
dive
Pretty
masters.
much.
Yeah,
They know
pretty
where
much.
the good stuff
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
They know where the fun
And
stuff
they'll
is.
tell you, they'll bring you back to the boat and show you where the boat is, and then they'll leave, and you're on your own, and you can do whatever you want for the
Just
next
right in the
15
boat
or 20 minutes.
area.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
because you know where the boat is, right.
And there's so many different wonderful places to, dive spots that they take you.
Mhm.
They'll typically have been taking us out to a pretty deep wall dive. They have a maximum that they'll let you go at 100 feet. And so you get a deep dive there, and so you can. And I love wall dives. Anybody who's seen the podcast before, I'm always remarking about my favorite thing is wall dives, but especially at Lake Amistad. But then the second dive is typically a shallower, 50 feet or shallower, and they've been doing a number of the swim-throughs, which we
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really enjoy.
And some of them get a little small, so you've
Yeah.
got to, you've got to be practiced and up on your
Yeah.
buoyancy so
Absolutely.
that you're not hitting the coral or dragging on the bottom. And they're real conscientious. They make sure that our computers are not hanging down low, but they're attached to us.
Right.
That we're nice and tight, so that we're not tearing up any of the coral. Tell the folks about the lionfish. This is so cool.
Well, we've talked a number of times on the podcast before about how lionfish have totally invaded the Caribbean. They're not native to this part of the world, but there's a concerted effort throughout the Caribbean to try to curb the lionfish population. And so there are a number of sanctioned hunts, and the folks here actually are actively engaged in going out and trying to reduce the numbers. But then you also see a slowly growing market for lionfish,
Yep.
and we got to try yesterday. We got to
Yeah.
try our first lionfish.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was very
I'm not a
Very
ceviche.
tasty.
I'm not a fan of ceviche typically, but I had to try this out because I was bound and determined to have some lionfish,
Yeah.
and I got to say it was wonderful.
It was good.
I
It was
loved it.
Very good.
Maybe-
And also
Non-fish.
just the atmosphere where we lunched. We were out on a patio, shaded. There were a bunch of flip-flops hammered to a tree.
Yeah.
Beautiful ocean.
There were tarpon down below us swimming and hoping that we'd throw them a piece of bread. The sun was shining. It was,
Yes.
and here we
It
were
was great.
eating lionfish.
Yeah, I like that outdoor,
Yeah.
out in the middle of it, right
Oh,
there by
yeah.
the ocean, the wind. I like that.
Well, hopefully
atmosphere.
someone will develop a market for lionfish because it tastes good and it's easy to get and it's dangerous. Might as well get rid of it.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Well,
Do they eat up the coral, or why
well,
are
no.
they dangerous?
What it is they don't have any natural predators here.
So they eat whatever
But they are voracious eaters. They eat all the smaller fish, so they basically take a big chunk out of the
Right.
smaller part of the food chain.
Oh.
So that means that the other fish that are normally feeding on those levels
Right.
in the hierarchy have less to eat.
Have less to eat, we'll die off. eventually.
Exactly. So that becomes a serious problem here. So they're trying to do something, anything they can to curb that. Now, unfortunately, what you have what they've run into, we were talking to some of the guys today. A number of folks from various countries, they don't live around this environment. They're not from the Caribbean, and they come in and they see the various dive operators, local divers, going out and just spearing the lionfish, and they get all sorts of upset. Unfortunately, that's the thing about getting wrapped up in ecology to the point and being so hard over about what I call a tree hugger, where you don't know all the facts and then you jump to a conclusion that is an incorrect one. And in this case, they see what they feel is a cold-hearted, just massacring of these fish that are beautiful. I mean, let's face it, they're very beautiful fish, but unfortunately, they are very destructive fish. They are not native here, and that's what happens when humans, in our ability to bring species from places that they normally aren't to places from where they normally are to places they normally aren't, and then we have something like aquarium get destroyed in Miami that introduces lionfish to the Caribbean. They're like, wow, this is great. We have no natural predators and we have plenty of food. So they spawn and multiply so quickly.
Yes.
And so, unfortunately, you get these people coming in and say, oh, it's just evil that you're spearing all these
slaughter
fish.
Of this species.
This beautiful fish. I'm like, they're beautiful, but they're not native here, and they don't have any natural predators. So
they're not in any danger of being extinct.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So
exactly, because they exist elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So what happens is making some adjustments here. What happens is, unfortunately, that means that that the local divers here have to do extraordinary things to help curb the population, and they have to do it while non-locals are here. They don't want to hear the complaints of people from Canada and the United States and Great Britain and everywhere else coming in and saying, wagging their finger at them. So they have to do it outside of it.
Right.
Whereas, unfortunately, it'd be great if they could do it. What they originally were doing is they would be out with one of their dive masters would have a spear with them, and when they dive with the customers. And if they saw an opportunity to reduce the population of the lionfish, they would do it.
Yep.
Well, now they can't do that, so that creates a limited opportunity for them to do
limited hunts.
Yeah, limited hunts, and that means it's harder for them to keep control of the population. Now, I have to say, we've been diving in Curacao and Cozumel, and the lionfish populations there are huge.
Yes.
Wow.
Just everywhere you turn, you saw lionfish. But here, we haven't really seen that many.
No, a couple of days,
handful,
a couple of dive,
and real small.
But
Yeah.
they've been very.
Well, that one was pretty good size.
Yeah, one was very big. They've been very good at killing, and they do have a dive where you go on and you don't kill them; they do.
Yeah.
But
It's
then
like
after
the
You become like what they call a spotter.
you're a spotter,
Yeah.
and you get as many as you can in your time limit for the dive, and then you come back and someone
clean 'em.
someone cleans them and you cook them and eat them, and they're very very tasty.
They are.
One of the dive masters was telling us today that the groupers, no, there's no natural enemy,
Right.
but the groupers love to eat them, but they won't kill them. So they act as
not aggressive
bird dogs. They will find out if you're down
Grouper
there
bird
hunting,
dog.
and they'll go and
Oh,
That's
find
awesome.
find a lionfish for you, and you kill it, and they eat it, but they won't kill it.
No,
they
before
are-
it's all over, they're going to require tags and licenses
Yes,
for them.
that's right,
It's
yes.
like you must keep your grouper leash.
That's right.
You must
Yes.
have leash laws for groupers.
Yes, have a permit. They are.
Have your grouper spayed or neutered.
That's right.
Not anybody. We can't just walk off from the
Yeah.
shore and kill them. Well, I guess
Or
there's
spear 'em.
there's no law against it, but I guess we could. But
Right.
you don't do that. You go in a group.
Yeah. Well, let's throw up some of the pictures that we've taken. This is just merely a small
Oh yeah.
selection of the pictures that we've taken.
Lovely. Lovely tarpon.
Oh yeah, you can talk
Uh,
over the pictures. That's
Okay,
nice.
good. The colors down here is incredible. Like, this is my first time. I've seen Trisha's photos, Rod's photos, and videos, and we looked at lots of videos of dives down here. Trish kept telling me, "Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it." Oh, I do. The
Yeah.
colors are amazing.
There's nothing like actually being
Yeah, it
there.
That's
doesn't
right.
compare
That's
to.
right.
No matter how good we could, maybe take
Videos
these
and
pictures
pictures
of
look
videos,
great,
it just
but-
doesn't compare.
Right.
And the visibility.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Well, you can
yeah.
see here. This is Trish off in the distance there. She is a slower descender because she has a slower equalization in her ears, so she has to take it easy, and that's fine. The visibility here is so good.
Yeah.
She can
You
see
can
us
you
the
can
whole
follow
time.
everybody with no problem.
Right.
They see things from the surface, and here we're almost 50 feet down, and we can see you
Yeah.
so clearly.
Yeah. So visibility.
Not a problem at all. That's the beauty here. There's Gay, and
Yeah.
this is one of the wall dives, so he was kind of cruising up over the wall.
The abyss is wonderful.
It is just
Rob
great.
and I both are
Isn't that
drooling
awesome?
because we want to go down.
Absolutely.
And if you
Absolutely.
can't,
You
No, you
can't.
can't.
I
I know.
know.
that will be the last thing you
I'll
ever
start
do.
rattling my shaker.
Yeah.
Up,
Unless
up.
your insurance is paid up.
Yeah, and I'm listed.
Now this was a shot off of one of the
That was
mooring balls.
Mhm.
They're, they back in the day when they would come out, they'd have to drop anchor. Well, obviously, if you're not careful, you drop anchor on a coral reef and you could destroy it. Especially if you got pretty pounding waves,
Mhm.
and the boat could start yanking the anchor
it up.
and tear up the reef. So eventually, over time, what they've done is all these favorite dive sites, they've actually gone down with divers and permanently placed in either already dead coral areas or in the sand. They've actually placed mooring posts or rings, and then they have ropes running up to what they call a mooring ball, which is basically a buoy, a huge buoy that everybody can moor to. So you just clip onto that. So they'll pull up with the boat, and they have one of the crew members with a big hook that just reaches out and grabs the rope, and then they're able to tie up to that. And then everybody's typically, they direct you to follow the mooring line down,
Mhm.
and everybody meets at the bottom. And then once the dive master is sure that everybody's good to go, you start head off on a guided
Yeah.
dive. And so this is where we were gathering on one of them.
And it's my understanding that Ocean Frontiers has been very instrumental in putting a lot of these buoys out along this
Yeah.
eastern side of Cayman.
Yeah, because they kind of were the only thing out here in this part of the
Innovators
island
or
for the longest
first
time.
people,
You're
yeah.
right.
They
Yeah. So they picked a great spot because
Yeah.
there's a number of great reefs out
Yeah.
here. They have an awesome setup. Here is a picture off of one of the off of the walls. Again, just showing you the deep blue. I mean,
Yeah.
you follow along the wall, and it goes further than you can see, and then you just turn away from the wall, and you see just
Just,
deep blue.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
There's Terra got a shot of me out in the blue. I tell you, if you have issues with vertigo or fear of letting go of your training wheels, you have to be where you can see bottom or grab a hold of a rail or something. This is not the kind of
This is
diving
not
for
for
you.
you.
It's not
And
your
that
kind.
surprises me because I'm afraid of heights.
Right.
But it's different underwater because it's like, it's just different.
Right.
Well, you've had the best
Well,
instructor in the whole world.
Yeah.
Train
And
you.
you know when you fall, you're not going to splat.
Right. And I mean, I
That is
really,
true.
I find it hard to come up to a glass wall in a building
Right?
And look
and
down.
look down.
Oh, right.
You know,
Yes.
it's
Right.
just,
Well,
it frightens me, but for some reason
I
this,
thought I would be afraid when we first went over the deep area because when I went out to the lake, I was scared going down deep.
Mhm.
And it was dark. I couldn't see anything.
Mhm.
And I thought, well,
That's
here it'd
half
be a
the
little
battle.
clearer and I'll
Yeah.
see. And it didn't bother me because I
That's
could
beautiful.
see things.
Right.
Right.
Now, if I turned around, it would be all blue.
Right.
But then if I turned around, there's the reef or the wall
Yeah.
right there or other
Yeah.
people.
Right.
So it's not as scary.
Get your equilibrium.
Right,
Keep
right.
And your buoyancy, as long
Yeah.
as you
Right.
you understand the buoyancy and you
Yeah.
control that.
So you don't go up and
Control
down.
your ascent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Right.
they were pretty religious about keeping people
They
to that
were.
100
I
foot.
like that though because I noticed
Yeah.
there were a couple
Oh.
people.
Oh, they were down
who were
lower.
not.
The one
Yeah.
couple
We were at almost
photography,
100,
yes.
and I was
Yes.
like, they are at least
Yeah.
20 feet below
I know.
us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
At least from
Yeah.
Right.
Your
And it was the
perception
same
underwater.
stuff they were looking at that we could see up higher. So
Right.
there wasn't any reason,
Yeah.
special thing for
But
them to
you
go
see
to.
the draw of wanting
Oh,
to go
yes.
deeper. It
Oh,
just
yeah,
it
yeah.
sucks you in.
That's
It makes
right.
you want
Yes.
to go deeper.
Uh-huh.
So I can understand why tech divers.
Yes.
And
Oh,
also,
yeah.
if you're fiddling with your camera,
Yeah, like us.
you know, you can sink a little bit, and you think you're
Yeah,
at,
you don't realize you're sinking
95
unless
feet.
you're
The
looking.
next thing you're at
Yes.
102.
Right.
So
Before you know it.
you know, diving with that buddy who is watching
Mhm.
that depth, one person fiddling with the camera
Yeah.
when adjustments
Right.
need to be made,
Exactly.
and watching after each other
Yeah.
and making sure that
Well, I saw you doing that with
Nobody
him.
is
Yeah,
Like,
we-
okay, let's come up a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
See at
you're
the
making
camera.
me nervous. Come up.
Yeah.
So,
come
but
up.
that's why it's important to have that
Right.
buddy.
Yeah.
Now, once you get into the shallower areas where
That's
the
beautiful.
tops of where the coral reefs typically are, you get to see a lot of, at least around here, you get to see a lot of these kinds of images. And I've been learning a lot about our new camera. So, you know, some of the shots came out better than others. And, you know, Trisha and I were talking about how you want to take as many pictures as you can, because out of 15 pictures, you might get 2 or 3 that actually come out.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, what you're looking for. You know, unless you're like a super professional photographer where you really know the
Well,
ins
you're
and outs.
getting there. You're
Yeah.
Slow.
You know, when you first start taking underwater pictures, people shoot a lot of tails, a lot of fish tails.
Yes.
Because you're chasing the fish, and one objective is to drop down as low as you can.
Yeah.
Move in, stay still, give those fish a chance to adjust to you being there, and then start your shooting. And
Right.
Sometimes they'll still run, but sometimes
Right.
you get their eyeballs, and
Is
that's what you want.
So here was a shot of a couple of little shrimp, right? Those were little shrimp.
Those little coral
Yeah,
banded.
the little
Yeah.
banded shrimp.
You just kind of have to watch, and it's funny. These are tiny. I mean, the picture doesn't do any justice to how tiny these things are. I mean, they're like spiders. I mean, they're that small, and so
Yes.
you have to really be on the
Like
lookout
little
because
daddy
there's
long
so
legs.
much.
They're so fine, so
Yes.
thin.
There's so much going on. It's easy to overlook the small.
And
Right.
this is not speed diving.
Right.
You may hover over a coral head for 5 minutes,
Right.
just
Looking
going
for something.
Right.
things,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, pop!
Exactly.
comes
There's
out.
that.
Yeah.
There's that
There's a
eel.
lobster.
Right.
Remember
Or like-
the eel we saw the other night?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You'll have to come back and see the videos of the eels we got at the night dive.
It was awesome. Now this is what they call. You wouldn't even recognize this as an animal unless you knew what you were looking for. This is a flamingo tongue, although.
Well, not the coral
Right.
itself.
The
Right.
slug
But if
thing
you
in
see the
middle,
little white thing in the middle, which normally we see them, they're not flat, straight white like that. They're normally very decorated.
Very.
They have a
Um,
membrane.
Yeah. But for some reason, right now, most of the ones that we saw were not colored. But these are amazing little creatures. And you have to look for those because they look like just a growth.
Right.
On coral.
A snail or something on there.
Or you think it's a shell that's just kind of
Stuck
caught
there,
on.
right.
Right. Now this little buddy showed up this
Oh,
afternoon.
yes.
It was awesome. He came cruising around by us. I've got some video footage we'll hopefully show you here in just a little bit.
He was a cute little guy.
Wasn't very big. If you saw the video footage that we had a few weeks ago of the pervy turtle that attacked Terra, that it was actually that turtle was actually a little bit bigger than this.
Yeah.
The
We
one
saw-
that attacked Terra?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one was about the size of a pillow, would you say?
Yeah, small
Yeah.
pillow.
And we
Yeah.
saw bigger ones on the boat. They were in
Oh,
the
yes.
water as we were going to the dive site.
Yes, having sex. That was
Yes,
pretty
that's right. They,
interesting.
Rob.
and we interrupted
I
him.
missed that part.
Poor,
Yes.
poor guy. But this was a smaller one, but he gave us a wonderful show.
Oh,
He
he
did.
Stuck around
Staying
for
This
a
one
while.
was almost as friendly as the
Uh-huh.
pervy turtle.
Except I didn't get bit.
Yeah, this
That's
time Terra
right.
did not get
Goodness.
bit. And here's a
Oh.
shot of the boat we've spent the most time on this week.
The
We're
Ocean
just
Hawk.
yes, we've been. This is just shot as
You
I
can see
jumped
the
off
swells.
the
They
back.
are quite large.
Today
out
was
there.
actually much. It was much more swell.
Yes. Getting on the ladder is like getting
Interesting.
on a bronc horse.
Oh, yeah.
You get on and hold on.
You got
Hang
to
on to the
time,
ride.
time your steps. Time
Yeah.
your steps. And helicopter ride
Yeah.
coming overhead. Yeah. Nice. And there's
That's a
Trisha
good
and Gaze.
shot.
They're working their way down. I love shots like this where you've got just the all blue behind.
Right.
The bubbles,
The
yeah.
bubbles.
And there's one of my lovely wife, Terra,
Isn't she cute? in
sporting
all
her
pink,
pink,
and glory?
yes, which you got to add to
Oh,
that
yes, she
yesterday.
did.
Indeed.
Yes,
Got new
indeed.
fins.
Yes.
And they worked out well.
Pink fins by Scuba Pro.
Mhm.
Recommended.
Good stuff.
And this is Trisha again. I love
Oh, I
silhouette
love the-
shots like
yes.
this, and then the
And
way the bubbles were coming
oh,
out.
yeah.
That looks real nice,
Yeah,
Rob.
thank
Thanks.
you, thank you.
Good job, man. Oh, look, my feet are together. I mean,
That's right.
my arms aren't struggling. I'm
I love those kind of shots. There's a shot of some of the swim throughs. There was a shot of the reef and some of the divers coming. You could see the divers through the swim through, coming
Those
across.
swim-throughs
Oh,
are
love.
amazing.
They're
They
your
were
favorite,
wonderful.
aren't
They are
absolutely
absolutely.
are my favorite.
Some of them are-
Aside from seeing the cool animals,
Yes. Some of them are completely enclosed like a tunnel, but some
Right.
of them open up in like a slot canyon.
Yep.
You're very deep in it, and it's just a big narrow
On
crack
either
above
side,
you.
yeah.
Oh.
Now, what kind of fish
Full
are
of
those?
life.
Do you know what type
No.
those are?
They're all over down there.
yeah, gosh, yeah, I don't know.
We
We don't have
That
we
was
don't have
one
our
just
fish
for living.
identification chart with us, so. And
Oh,
there
there you
is
go.
a trumpet
Yeah.
fish. We love
Cute.
those.
That's a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
He stands right out.
Yep.
Normally, you don't see them horizontal like that. You'll see them floating vertical because they kind of disappear
And
in
they
amongst
blend
the blend in with the coral, like the coral
Or
you
the
see on the
fans.
right. Yeah. Love those. This is a good picture. I was
Yeah.
That's a
very
really
very pleased
good
with this.
picture.
Now, what kind are those?
Those are the
Is that Spanky?
Yeah. You sitting on him?
Spanky's having a
Spanky
fit
was
now.
making some noise.
Well, here, let me-
I can't
We're
remember
not
what
on
these
camera.
ones are. So he's gonna go get the fish chart. Yeah, those were
There's that
everywhere.
helicopter again.
Yeah, there's so many different fish that you
Here we
know.
go.
There's some that we're very familiar with. Gosh,
What is that?
I'm out after
That's the,
searching.
that's the black virgin.
Oh, they're right overhead.
Really loud.
Yeah, they're right overhead. Well, how convenient is that? We have a helicopter right
Border Patrol, the meat are looking. They're looking for us.
Okay, the name of that fish is black virgin.
They were beautiful. I love the way they move through the water. Only in Cayman, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This
That's a really nice shot.
Or along the border with the Border
Oh,
Patrol.
there.
is one of the swim throughs.
Yes.
And
Swimming
love
with the tarpon. He's got
Yes,
all the
these
tarpon
things
on
are
him.
so
Oh,
huge. If you're intimidated by big fish,
Yeah.
this would not be a good place for you.
they're
either.
not
And
afraid
these
of
things
you.
are-
Wonderful.
What,
So
5
docile.
and 6 feet long?
Yeah.
Some of them, and they're
Pretty
not
long.
afraid of you, so you'll
No.
turn around
No.
and they'll be right beside you.
Exactly.
And
They're
just
it does
real
startle you
docile.
at first because
Yeah.
there's something right there, and of course,
That's
for
eyes
me,
are
my
bigger
first
than
time,
yours.
But it's
what
like
I
having a
think of
bunch
is a
of-
shark. But it's not.
Yeah, it's like having a bunch of dogs
Yes,
around you.
right.
You know, that just nice docile
And
dogs.
they're not afraid of you. They swim around, and a lot of these fish are like that. They'll come around you once they settle down. Once they get over their fear of you appearing all of a sudden.
Plus, divers come out here so
Yes.
often that
Yeah, in
are
the same
typically
areas.
non-threatening,
Right.
so they're used to diving.
Right.
They realize we are not in the food chain.
Yes.
And they are not
Well,
in our
they
food
don't- they
chain.
don't know
Now
Right.
this was a great swim through. This
That
is
was
Terra. You see
awesome.
ahead of me here, and up in the upper left of the picture, you see a huge ball of the silver sides. Those were amazing because they ball up, and you swim through and they'll hide in these swim throughs, and you go in there and you literally can't see
Mhm.
anything.
Right.
For
That was
them.
absolutely
And
amazing.
they flow along like liquid in the water.
Yes.
Yeah, and they all flow together.
They
They're
flow
like a
together,
flock of
right?
birds.
It's amazing when you're in one crevice or canyon and you see them coming up out of another one because someone is over there and has chased them up.
Right.
They're just like spewing up out. And it's beautiful.
That was awesome.
There's
Great
another one of
shot.
the reefs.
Trisha.
There's Trisha.
One thing we haven't seen is seahorse,
No, we haven't.
seen a seahorse yet.
which I really like.
We need to work on that tomorrow. We talked.
This
to
was awesome.
Yeah.
We got. We've
Oh,
seen
he
a
was
number
huge.
of the big blowfish down
Yeah.
there. None of them were blown, but they were.
No.
This one was a really good size one. So again, it's hard to tell from the picture, but this was a huge one. We were looking for hootie.
Yeah.
Yes, Hootie.
Hootie to go with the
Because there were a
blowfish.
lot of them down there. Oh.
And of course, the obligatory couples picture.
Yes. Oh.
And we're back to the beginning. So that's the tarpon. Get back to our live shot here and,
And
see if I can
you were
bring
too
it.
far to get a picture of the shark.
Well, I'll show the little bit of snippet of video that I got of the shark, but that was just too quick a thing, and I was concentrating. Man, we're gonna really crank up the exposure here.
And-
We're just about running out of light here, but let me see if I can get the video up. This may be kind of choppy for those of you watching, and we'll see. There we go. All right, here we were. We were.
Which line?
We can try it. I've kind of jumped ahead in the video because I took a lot of video on this trip so far. And this one was just one of those chance. I spun around, so I'm going to get it playing here. I was swinging around doing a 360, and I saw Terra, and then there I saw the shark. And so right there, stupidly, I'm signaling to Terra, trying to get her attention instead of trying to keep the camera on the shark. By the time I got her attention and I looked over, and you see the shark disappearing over the reef there. So, you know, I mean, we've seen some nurse sharks, but that was the first typical predatory shark that we've seen on this trip so far. I would be nice to see something a little bit later. You know, we got one more set of dives tomorrow. And then here is our shot, just one of the shots that we got of the turtle. We get that playing here. This was awesome because he just was in no hurry to get anywhere.
And there were
Until he realized there were 15
Right.
people.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
not 15. There were,
Well,
like
there were
7 of us.
several of us around him, but he.
There's Gay. You see how close? I mean, you could get right to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't very big.
No, but he was cute. We
Watch
wanted
it.
to see a turtle, and so we got to.
He runs into something. He goes,
Yeah.
oops,
Whoops.
uh-oh.
He's like, where can I hide? Quick, where can I hide from these people? And
Yeah,
we
it's-
found out it was fascinating because somebody told us he goes up and gets air,
Yes.
Yeah.
comes down and can spend
He sleeps
hours.
all
night.
night.
He
They
sleeps.
they take one
with
breath.
the breath
sleep.
of hell.
And then their body shuts down and
That to me is just amazing.
they go to sleep.
One of those creatures that lives equally under the water and
Right.
Take it, but it has to have the air.
yeah. It's cute.
Nice video, Mr.
Yeah,
White.
I
nice
love
video.
that.
Now that was a hawksbill turtle.
Is that what it was?
Still,
Yes.
okay.
Because he's got the brownish.
Okay.
And when you look at his bill, actually, it looks like a.
Well, yeah, it's got the little hook on it. It's a
Quick
groove.
shot of everybody.
Right.
You notice that we're spread out. We're not bumping into each other.
Right.
That's something that's nice down here. Is there's plenty of room. Nobody has to be on top of each other.
And you can see far enough, so if you get away 50 or 100 feet, you can still see your buddies and come back.
Yeah,
to 'em.
absolutely. Absolutely.
You may be following a fish or something that you want to take a picture of and get a little ways away.
Yeah, so, well, it's not all diving
No,
here. We've had
that's right.
opportunity to kind of do some shopping.
Explore the
Got
island,
plenty
yeah.
of rum cake.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
plenty of rum cake.
Yeah.
We did a number of the obligatory tours.
We
We
went
went-
to the beach and saw some starfish.
Oh, yes, we went to
That
Starfish
was
Point.
fun.
That was an
And they
interesting
were in-
drive trying to find this place.
Yes.
I have to admit, my My Lumia 920.
Here's the
My
plug.
Nokia Lumia
There's
920 has
the
been
plug.
absolutely
Yeah.
indispensable
Yes.
for
The,
getting us around the
the
island.
British lady is very nice. The
Yeah.
It was
surfer
appropriate
dude,
because
yeah.
Grand Cayman was formerly
Yes, British
a
colony.
British
yes.
colony. So,
That's right.
it was appropriate that I had. We did try the surfer dude out
Yes.
for a little bit, and
He
that
was
got
okay.
It's
annoying.
kind of
He was a little
annoying.
entertaining,
Yeah.
but then
But
he got
I gotta say,
We did some shopping. We were heathens one day, and we went to where?
we went to hell.
We went to hell.
Yes,
but
we
we
did.
came back. We didn't like it.
That's right.
Um,
We've been to hell and back.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
a,
there is actually a little town at the east end, northeast end of the island called Hell.
Yes.
It's
And
a
you
rock
remember what the
formation.
story? You remember what the story was behind how it got its name?
No.
I don't-
One of the governor was like,
Yeah,
It's
the
the
governor was
governor.
there hunting.
Yeah.
They were like hunting birds or something. He had a shotgun, and he kept missing. And he kept saying,
saying,
"Oh
hell."
hell, oh hell." So the natives that were there named it "Oh hell." It's a giant rock formation that's
Oh, it's amazing.
acid rain. Well, not acid rain, but acid that hundreds of thousands of years ago
It's really
in the
amazing.
ocean has eroded it into funny shapes. And
So it's
stuff.
like this garden.
Right, it's like a garden of
spiky rocks.
rocks. Yeah.
It's
on
just
a future
crazy.
podcast, we'll probably throw some pictures,
Yeah.
some more pictures in there. We're kind of keeping a limited podcast this time because I'm doing this all on a laptop
Right.
through a wireless signal, so I have no
limited
idea
lighting.
what kind
Yeah.
If
of
we're getting through or not.
yeah. Well, we'll
But it's
see. Well,
amazing.
recording.
The
so.
island is beautiful.
It is
they drive on
gorgeous.
the left-hand side, and Rob has
Yeah.
done a wonderful job of
Yes.
getting us around.
I've got a couple of little missteps here and
Well,
there, but
no, they
nothing serious.
they have circles down
accidents.
here all over the place. Between here and the main
Roundabouts.
town, there's probably a dozen roundabouts.
yes.
And you go around them, and you just keep going until you decide which exit you want to take. But Rob has been so good at taking the right exits.
Or the left exits.
Or the left exits. That's right. And we've seen no accidents or anything yet. We haven't had an accident
Right.
yet. But the island is beautiful. There's a lot of neat things here. We've explored quite a bit of it. Tomorrow we're going to go eat at a local eatery, or maybe
Which is gonna
Friday.
be fun.
At a local eatery we were told about that looks real nice and it's cheap.
Yep.
Yeah, the
probably some
prices
more
are,
shopping.
it's pretty expensive.
Oh
Yeah,
my
prices
gosh!
are
I
high
tell
here,
you,
yes.
you need to bring some serious moolah or
Yeah.
have a seriously hefty bank account
Yes.
to come down here. It was not.
Luckily, there's a grocery store chain
Yes.
here, and we were able to buy groceries. We've been 3 times
Yes.
already.
But I tell you, I have never spent $190 and gotten so little
Yes.
for it.
Oh yes,
before.
and the food. Yes.
That was crazy.
Um,
That was crazy.
right.
Yeah. So if you come down
You
here,
only live once.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
that's
do.
right. That's
this
right.
is one of those things where you just save up your money.
It's still cheaper than eating out all the
Buy
time. 'Cause
Belize.
Eating out is
Absolutely,
is-
Buy
yeah.
Belize. That's what
Yes,
I'm.
our
That's
next
it.
trip will be
You
Belize.
have to try Belize because that's got to be less expensive.
Do we
Yes.
want to give? Is there any way we can get the camera pan around to have a little ocean
I
view?
tell you
or
what
will
we'll
it be-
do as the final scene
Yes.
before
Okay.
we
Well, the credits
That
lose
are
would
all
be
our
nice
lights.
to show people.
We'll
the
show
ocean
that. I
so
was
we
like,
can
this
get-
is where we're
If we
at.
can get a little shot of the boats out here,
Yeah.
the dive boats.
We'll
and
get
stuff.
one last
We
shot
have a
out.
wonderful shot from our balcony.
Yes,
And we
we
can
do.
run some videos.
We've got a
out
little
during
beach
daylight
here,
hours and-
wonderful.
and there's a long line of a wall out there, coral reef, that acts as a breaker, so we don't get any big waves in
Yeah,
here.
it's really nice.
So
and
it's
calm
very
here at
nice,
the
uh-huh.
beach.
And it's very quiet. East End is very quiet.
Yes.
This is not the party side.
It's not where the tourists
which
usually
is fine.
go.
We
Right.
like it.
Although we did see a girl fight.
Oh, we sure did. And
Yeah, we
outside
did.
a bar,
In
we sure did.
Bondtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the way between town and here, you go by a lot of bars.
Yeah.
And one of them we've been by several times is very popular, evidently. And we saw a girl fight
Yeah, it
one
was
night.
pretty
yes.
interesting. Probably over a guy.
Probably.
Sure.
A guy
The
that
guy-
probably wasn't worth it.
That's true. That's true.
But so tomorrow we have our final two
yes, final two
Oh.
dives.
It's kind of sad,
because we can't dive on Friday.
right? But we are. What do we have on tap
Oh, yeah.
for Friday?
That's right.
What are we going to do Friday?
We're going
You
to
know.
Stingray City Friday,
Yes.
where you go and you swim with stingrays. And we've already got our metal vests made.
That's right. We will not end up like the crocodile.
That's right. Now they are
Crocodile
tame
man.
because so many hundreds
They're
of
so
tourists
used to
go there
people.
every day. They're so used to people, so they teach you how to pet them if you want to touch them, and then you swim with them and snorkel with them. You don't go diving with them; it's not that
Right.
deep. So we're going to experience that on Friday,
Yep.
That'll be fun.
since
That'll
we
be
can't
fun.
dive. And then unfortunately, early Saturday, we have to head
Gotta
out.
get on the plane and
Fly
head back
back
to the
to-
U.S.
Yeah.
And we can't dive because
Oh yeah.
You got Patty teaches
Yes.
12 hours. It'd be the time that you have to wait after diving before flying. But your dive computers typically, and the Air Force will typically
Yes.
hold you through the 24-hour
24
rule.
hours.
So most of the places here will simply
Just
say
say-
when are you
Right.
flying out, and then they won't take you out.
Right.
Yeah. Now you could probably get away with
You
a
could
shore.
cheat going somewhere
Yeah, you
else. Or
could get a
maybe
shore
going-
dive
yeah.
and do that.
Well,
but
yeah.
you want
but
to take a chance.
We don't want to take a chance.
We're all about safety.
That's
Yeah.
right.
right.
We're all about
That's right.
safety.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Well, we're running a little bit over a half hour. Normally we run an hour show, but we're running out of light, and we want to give you one shot of our
Yeah.
view off the balcony here before we close out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out of frame
Okay.
here and undo the camera.
And while he steps out of frame, I'm going to show you one more time that we are not lost. We're in paradise.
Yes, this is paradise.
All right, so here is.
This is
Tell me if I've got a good shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
You got
that
the
looks
boat?
great.
Yeah. See, look at that beautiful ocean.
This is our view.
Pull it down just slightly, honey.
Yeah.
There you
There
go.
you
Because
go.
then we got the beach there.
See, we have
okay.
sand and we have places to lay in
They've
the
got all
sand,
nice
the little
chairs.
lounge chairs.
Tara and I went out there and took a nap this afternoon
Yeah,
in
it
the cool
was nice.
breeze.
Down there.
There's
Yeah.
a hammock. There are coconuts in these trees.
Oh yeah.
And you can paint on the coconut and then put it at the front desk, and people can see that Robin, Terra, and Gay and Trish from Del Rio have been to the Cayman Islands frontier.
That's right.
There are wonderful flowers on the trees, and some of them smell. We hadn't found which one smells yet, but it smells wonderful.
So let's see if we can line this up one more
Just a
time.
little bit. There you
There
go.
we
Right
go.
there. That's good.
All right,
We
so
got
one
all-
last final parting shot
Oh, look
as
out.
I move our set. So
Yes.
this has been our first international
That's right.
broadcast.
That's right.
of the-
Hopefully
and
the first of many.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So we hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully, if you didn't get to see it live, hopefully you're watching on YouTube.
Yes.
Because we'll be uploading this YouTube.
And
as
Robert,
soon as we
we've
get
mist
back
you.
to- Yes.
Yes.
Robert,
But not
we
so much
miss
that we
you.
didn't go.
Yeah, that's right. And until now, we hadn't really thought about you, but
Yeah. That is true. Until we had to do the podcast.
that's
so.
right. And the credit thing. Oh yeah, that's right.
Let me go ahead and jump in, do some administrivia. Let's see. Well, let's see. We have
Okay.
basic open
Oh.
water classes coming up 25th and through the 22nd through the 25th of August and 26th to the 29th of September. So if you want to experience
Yes.
this great adventure that we call scuba diving, I will be your willful instructor.
And he was mine. And
Yeah.
very, very good. And I really enjoy. He still continues to teach me.
I have a
And,
good time at it.
I love going with him. He's a wonderful teacher.
So hopefully you'll sign up. You just visit our website or our Facebook page. And then we have one last Balmoral State Park trip lined up for our Terra and I will have our anniversary that weekend, 16th to the 18th
That's right.
of August. You can contact us via Skype. We have, of course, Skype now integrates the messaging part of it, so it's not just video. So you can just look us up on Two Guys Who Dive, or you can hit us up on Facebook. Just look for Del Rio Dive Club, or our website, www.delriodiveClub.com. And, of course, if you'd like to send me an email, send it to robert.wade@setifox.net. That's CETIFOX.net. Or you can follow me on Twitter. Just look for @RobertCFP. And I think that pretty much finishes up for this week as the
Fantastic.
light
Yep.
wanes and we
Yes,
see another
it's a
sunset in
sunset.
Grand Cayman.
That's right.
We hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we hope you see future podcasts. We'll be wrapping up some more
Do you store your
pictures and
photos
videos.
somewhere so people can see them?
We typically will put some in the podcast,
Okay.
and we may set up something as part of the Facebook page because
Okay.
it's very easy to get
Right.
to pictures there. And so that pretty much finishes up. I'm Rob Wade, and I'm signing off. And wish Robert were here, but too bad, too sad. It
Yeah.
sucks to be you, Robert. So.
Robert who?
All right. Yeah, exactly. So we really thank you for visiting us, and we'll see you next time on another
That's
fantastic episode of Two Guys Who Dive.
Bye.
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 Ah, cool.